We're wrapping up week 1 of homeschool, and I wanted to check in and just see how everything was going, not just for me, but for the kids. We had a lot of newness this year, and I needed to see how it was going. We had a lot of schedule adjustments with the kids' therapy appointments, and we added stuff in. We also had a new routine going in, and we tried some different morning routines with the kids, and some of them seem to be really working. And we definitely have some things after 1 week that are not working that we're going to have to look at and readjust. I know I'm not the only one trying to adjust. My kids are trying to adjust, so it is taking a lot of patience and a lot of just looking and observing and really figuring out what is working and what is not working. So I want to tell you what is working, and then I'm going to tell you what is not working and what we're doing to change the things that are not working. Let's talk about what's actually working. Number 1, our morning routine. We just had to tweak our morning routine just a little bit, and it really has paid off. Instead of having Isabella be the first kid up and starting her breakfast, we've actually let her get dressed, ready for the day, have a few minutes of downtime before she comes downstairs and eat breakfast. This has been a game changer for her because now she comes to school more focused, a lot happier, and she's much more awake. AJ's now the first kid up, and he's able to come down, have breakfast, get some energy out, and then he gets to start school. And he usually gets a few extra minutes with either me or Jim, which pays off for him most days. Lily sets her alarm, she gets up on her own, and then she comes downstairs, and she's usually the first kid ready to start school, even though she's the last kid up. Switching our routine just a little bit like this has been a game changer, and we are loving that part. We also have meal prepped a lot of breakfasts so the kids can grab their breakfast in the morning. They can microwave it, or some days we'll get their breakfast out and just spend a few extra minutes with them. It all depends how our morning is going, but we love that morning routine. And then once breakfast is done, I do a quick reset of the kitchen. I wipe off the counters and I make sure everything is in the dishwasher, and I will go join the kids in homeschool. The second thing that is working is I'm actually kind of planning what time we're doing everything, and I've been setting an alarm on Alexa, so I'm sticking to this schedule, but I'm not super strict about it. Some days a lesson might go a little bit longer, some days it might go a little bit shorter, but I have a lot of hands-on learning with JJ and Isabella, and I can't do it at the same time because they're not at the same level. So I'll spend 20 to 30 minutes with Isabella while JJ does independent work, and then I'll do one-on-one time with JJ while Isabella does independent work. And Lily does her schoolwork. If she has a question, she asks. At the end of her school day, I check any of her language or spelling that she had, and then she saves her math for Jim to check at night, which gives them a few minutes together, which I know that they both enjoy. Another win that we have had has been the curriculum we have picked out for the kids. Isabella and JJ are really loving the reading and the spelling, and it is all about reading and all about spelling. It's very interactive. JJ seems to be really thriving in this, and Isabella is loving it because she's actually like, I got this, let's move on. So that has been a huge win because we spent so much time trying to figure out the best curriculum for those two because they both have dyslexia, and we needed something that was geared towards kids with dyslexia. And we're already seeing changes after 1 week in stuff that they're remembering and in their reading. And Lily is doing the good and the beautiful for language and math, and she's doing fix-it grammar, so she's getting a little bit of everything. But as much as language is not her favorite subject, the language with good and the beautiful gives her a chance to do art, learn a little bit about history. So that has been a lot of fun with her, and she's definitely learning a lot about math with the good and the beautiful. But we've had a lot of wins, and there are a lot of things that are working well. There are still a few things that are just not working great and are kind of messy. And one of them is JJ's math curriculum. So that is the one thing we are keeping an eye on. We have a backup math curriculum that we almost went to, but he loved the good and the beautiful last year and he wanted to continue with that. So we had him continue that, but it seems to still be a struggle. So we have a backup plan that I'm going to look into to see if we need to switch him to that. The second thing that is still a little messy is our schedule. And I'm such a scheduler. I want everything to kind of be like this. And I know we're not doing that with homeschool, but we've added a lot in with the kids this year. JJ is in a learning program for dyslexia, and he was doing that 3 days. Now he's down to 2, but in a few weeks he'll probably go back to 3 days a week. So we have to just adjust the schedule this week, next week, and So that's still a little tricky. Isabella's taking on dance this year, and so she's going to have 2 nights with dance, and then we are going to have to adjust our schedule with that. While I love having a set schedule, I know there's definitely going to be some changes with it. Plus, we just rearranged all of the kids' therapy appointments, but we had something every day, but switching their appointments, now we have 2 days that we are home during the school day, which is great. Monday, JJ does his learning online. We don't have to leave the house. Tuesday, JJ does his learning online when he starts back up with that 3rd day. Isabella has OT and speech in the afternoon. Lily will be at the library, and the kids like to do the activity at the library. Wednesday, we're home all day now, which is great because for 2+ years, we have been out every Wednesday morning. Now we're just out Wednesday nights for Isabella's dance. Thursday is now our busy day. JJ has his learning program. He has OT, and Isabella has dance. And Friday, we have OT, and we have piano lessons and speech therapy. So I'm happy now we have 2 days home, and we just have to run out for a little bit one night. That is a big win because last year we were out every day. So it's just those little things that we have to get adjusted to with the schedule. So one of the things that also is a little messy, doesn't necessarily have to pertain to homeschooling, is when I actually get to work. I have time set aside every day that I get to work, but I have lost some hours due to adding things on with the kids, which is perfectly fine. I have 2 to 3 days a week that I can get like 3 to 4 hours in, but that hasn't happened because of breakdowns and stuff. So my work schedule is still a little messy. I'm going to do a video on it once I figure it out and how I figure it out. But that's what we're working on. I have ideas. I'm starting to implement them, so stay tuned for that. If you're just in your first week of homeschool and things seem just a little off, Mama, you are not alone. You're just figuring out what your rhythms and your routines are and what is working. You are showing up. You are doing so much better than you think. As we continue this homeschool journey this year, I will keep telling you what is working and what isn't working. So stay tuned. If you're a homeschool mom and you're trying to find those rhythms and routines that work for you and your family, check out the link in the description below for the Simplified Home, where I teach you how to create rhythms and routines that work for you and your family.